to find. Right here on 114th Street and Pleasant Avenue is a 100-year-old restaurant known as RAO'S. Well, today, the owner, Frank Pellegrino, is going to show me a couple of the specialties that attract the same kind of crowd night after night at one of the most exclusive club-like restaurants in New York City. East Harlem sits about 2 miles north of Midtown Manhattan. This now predominantly Latino neighborhood was once home to more than 50,000 Italians. That East Harlem has faded away, except on one very special corner.
Everyone who comes here can feel that relaxed, that comfortable, that at home, that they can sing, that they can dance. There are no pretensions here. What you see is what you get.
Frank Pellegrino and his son are the third and fourth generations to run this family restaurant.
My son does what I did, and he will sit at a table and go through the menu with everybody. And it creates a very warm and friendly atmosphere.
Since 1896, the small room with its 10 tables and booths has catered to neighborhood regulars and celebrities alike.
A couple of weeks ago, Michael Douglas was singing doo-wops. When Michael finally was about to leave, he's walking out this way, and he's dancing, and he's dancing in between these tables and dancing, you know, like, and I mean, the people were just having a grand time watching Michael Douglas, you know, pop, pop, do whatever he was doing. The celebrities get all the notoriety, but my clientele is still people like you and me.
Yeah, sure. Don't ever believe that.
The magic of RAO'S is that it's elite and down to earth. It's a hangout, the best of neighborhood restaurants, the way neighborhood restaurants used to be. And forget about reservations. Frank only takes regulars.
Because the place is so small, I cannot accommodate the demand, the request. I'm having trouble taking care of all of the friends and people and clientele that we've developed over the past 25, 30 years.
I need one of these, Jeff.
Nicky DeVest has been tending bar for 22 years.
He makes the best martini, the best mimosa, the best Manhattan you've ever had in your life, the best Bloody Mary you've ever had in your life.
Why is he called Nicky DeVest?
My clientele saw Nicky wears vests. Well, before you know, they would bring Nicky vests from Versace, from Armani. They'd be on a trip to Greece and bring back a vest made in Greece or in India.
In August 1977, 80 years after it was opened, the New York Times reviewed RAO'S and awarded it 3 stars.
Ingredients are not expensive, but we expect them to be the best. You know what I'm saying? It has to be good stuff. Good and prepared simply. That's what Southern Italian food should be. It's right. I can tell by the nose. The food we serve is traditional Southern Italian food that we got from our ancestors, from our heritage. It's not that anyone here ever went to culinary school. We cook what we know. Very, very simple, very, very clean, very, very pure.
The RAO'S cookbook and pasta sauces let you get a taste of RAO'S even if you can't get in.
I guess you say. When you do have a reservation, that table is yours for the night. There's no one over your shoulder, no one pushing you out, no one coming around with a check saying, I need you to leave so I could sit 4 more people there. We are in awe of its success because there was never any grand design. We came here to work, to make a living, and that was it.
Well, hello.
Good to have you back in East Harlem and RAO'S.
Always open arms.
Good to see you.
Nice to see you.
How do you feel?
So I feel great, and I'm anxious for my cooking lesson.
Well, I'm happy to have you here, and we'll show you how to do a few things.
Excellent.
And then maybe you could show us how to do everything, because you do everything right.
Okay, and I know you have some friends coming, too.
We have some good friends coming.
I will be the waitress. I will serve.
No, first you're going to be the assistant chef. You're going to help cook. Then we'll both be the waiter and waitress.
Okay, let's go.
Okay.
To subscribe to Martha Stewart Living Magazine, please call our 800 number.
I've been asked to have a meal.
We'll break up. So that's part of it. And like I said, I'm using honey sweet.
I asked Frank why he doesn't just use sausage meat, and he said that this really is good for portion, and it's good for, if you don't use it all, you still have the sausage.
Exactly. We want to keep everything fresh, so this is the way we have our sausage delivered. I'd rather have the fresh sausage
yeah.
here.
Okay, so now we have our meat.
We've chopped our sausage. So now what we do is we've got our frying pan going, and
oil.
we add a quarter of a cup of good olive oil. I like for these dishes primarily, I'll use a pure olive oil because I like the flavor of the food to come through. So now we're going to saute the onion till it's nice and translucent. In fact, I have to take this off the stove because what we forgot to do here is prepare the tomato. And these are plum San Marzano tomatoes, okay, imported plum tomatoes. And what we do is these come like this. We're going to put them in this colander and pot. And then what we do here is we hand crush all the tomatoes. And during this process is when you find the cores, and we remove the cores, because sometimes the cores can be bitter. Okay, so we've crushed
the now tomato. Do I put all this in?
Okay. Right, we're going to add that to the puree that was packed in.
Okay.
And we're going to back up because actually what I forgot was, see that, Martha, you're making me nervous. What we did here was, the next thing we did was not the tomato, but the next thing we did is the sausage.
Just waiting to see what you're doing.
Okay. I can't believe Martha Stewart's making me this nervous. It's tough dealing with experts, let me tell you. However, what you add next after you saute the onion is the sausage. And what you do here is you kind of flatten it out, and we have to let the sausage cook through. But when sausage has been decased like this, it cooks in a few minutes. You can even use a fork to mash this.
So you want that quite broken up?
Yeah, I want the sausage broken up. This sausage is done. Okay. Now, normally at this point, if you wanted to, you would drain off the excess fat. However, we used little enough olive oil, and this sausage was not fatty, so it did not create a lot of excess oil or what. But if it does at home, you can drain it out, put it back. It's at this point that we add the wine.
So like 1.5 cups?
Right. We let this just cook down for a minute or so.
Smell is getting better and better, right?
It smells great. It's going to be good. The wine is kicked off. So now what we're going to do is add our crushed tomatoes. This is one of the perhaps a little secret or cooking tip. When you add tomato, when you make a marinara sauce, when you make a sauce like this is when I add the salt. Is when we put the tomato in.
So salt to taste, you add quite a bit.
This should take about, I'd say no longer than 15 minutes. Martha, what we're going to cook is pappardelle. This is a pasta. It's a flat, thin kind of a pasta. And I think the name comes from papiro, which is papyrus, and della, which is kind of like a derivative of delicious or delicioso. And so this is kind of like delicious paper.
So now you're going to cook this in salted water?
We're going to cook it in boiling salted water. And I think right at this moment, Martha, this sauce is done. So what we're going to do right now is add that fresh oregano. Okay, and we're going to add a pinch of the black pepper. And we're going to add some of that fresh basil.
Oh, okay.
This is the end of the sauce, and I want us to be able to taste a lot of the flavor and the seasoning, so we put these things in at the end. They release their bouquet, but they stay with it.
Well,
and
it
so
looks
this
good.
is just, another minute. And Martha, we can add the pasta to our boiling water here, which has been salted.
So a pound.
Yeah, altogether it's a pound we've added here. We'll show you how we drain it and add it to the sauce, because what we use is a method called the segreto method to finish off our pasta, which is, I think, is the correct way to finish pasta. We'll just take a look at it. This is tough to take out.
Good.
It's al dente, so put that back. Dino, would you do me a favor, please, and would you just drain that for me and put it back in the pot?
And now we're going to do segreto.
Now we're going to do segreto, which is what I think is probably the most important moment in finishing a pasta. And a lot of people...
You do it for every pasta?
We do it for every dish of pasta that goes out of this kitchen. Segreto is this. You drain your pasta, you put it back in the pot you cooked it in. Then what you do is you add some of the sauce that you've already prepared, okay, to it. And what you do is you put it on a high flame. That's there. And with a wooden spoon or wooden fork, you toss the pasta. Okay. Now what happens is the pasta finishes by pulling in the sauce.
And you can see it doing it, too.
And now every piece of pasta in here is flavorful. And that's what a lot of Italians, we call asciutta, which means dry. And a lot of Italians like their pasta just like that, where it's just been flavored with the sauce and not drowned in sauce. This is also a good time. I mean, if you like cheese, you can add a little cheese at this point. You could add another piece of fresh basil. Boom, it releases its bouquet.
I'll do that.
The basil gets a little heated, it releases its bouquet, it stays with it. However, Americans, generally speaking, they like a little more sauce. So now, we'll put it in our serving bowl. And this is when you would add the rest of your sauce. And then save enough for a gravy boat. Okay?
Okay.
Okay, nothing fancy, no pretensions. What you see is what you get.
And what you get is
And I think what you
pretty
get
delicious.
is good stuff.
It is delicious.
Fresh, great.
Thank you. So we're going to now make one of RAO's famous dishes, the lemon chicken.
Don't make things like they used to. Whatever happened to quality?
In my day, we cared about craftsmanship.
How about service?
Dave Lennox founded his heating and cooling company and what was important to customers.
Those things will never go out of style. Trust me.
And the Lennox quality dealer standards make sure you'll get those things from Lennox dealers today.
Of course, you know what I really miss? Those little licorice drops you used to sell.
Lennox, one less thing to worry about.
I've been asked to have a meal by a big tycoon in steel. If the meal includes a deal, except I'm but I'm always true to your darling in my fashion.
Ever had before, and in fact, the method seems a little bit unusual.
It's kind of a little unusual because of the way the Southern Italian cook used to do this on a Sunday and put everything in a pan and then kind of bake it more than broil it. This is another variation.
What do you do with the chicken?
Well,
nice fresh chicken.
First of all, you get your butcher, and these are about 2.5-pound fryers that have been cut in half.
Okay.
Okay? And the first thing we do is put them under the broiler.
Okay.
Okay? And we put them in the broiler, skin side down. What happens is the skin holds the juices into the chicken when it tightens up and starts to cook in there. Now what we're going to do, Martha, is make the marinade for the chicken. And we start with about a cup of olive oil.
So.
Okay. Then we're going to add 2 cups of fresh lemon juice. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to add a little bit of red
So
vinegar.
like a tablespoon?
That's all, about a tablespoon of red vinegar.
Okay.
Good. And also what we have to add is about 6-7 cloves of garlic that, you know, Martha, have been...
With the back of the knife,
with
don't
the back
forget.
of the knife, right.
Smash
But we've got to add a bunch of these. Okay, garlic is an important ingredient in this. So we add our garlic. Then we're going to add a little salt and pepper to taste. And now we're going to add a little fresh oregano to this. So we've got the salt, the pepper, the oregano, the garlic, the olive oil, the lemon.
This is it, huh?
And that's the marinade.
I'm getting into the Frank tasting method here.
Right.
Good.
Okay, so now it's time to check our chickens.
Okay.
Okay? All righty. These chickens still need a little more time on this side, and when they're done on that side burnt, then we reverse them. That's all. You turn these chickens once. And we basically cook them through all the way. And what we also look for is a charred skin. I've let these chickens cool off a while because they have to let them cool so that you can handle them. And what we do now is we cut the chickens into pieces. And generally, it's really simple. It's basically by the joints. And what you do first is you score it and then cut it.
Oh, easy.
Right. So you score it, you cut it. This part you don't need, so we score it, cut it, and we get rid of it. Okay. Same thing here. That I usually get rid of that little tip, and then I'll even cut this in half.
Very tender.
Okay, right. The breast, we'll get rid of this little piece, and then I generally cut this in 3.
So very easy.
Right. And this eye here we'll cut in half. All right. Now, after we've got all of our chickens cut, all right, in fact, would you like to try?
Sure, I'll do it.
Try one of these.
Okay. Score it.
Gotta score it. Kind of bang it through. all in the joints. Right. As you can see, as long as that chicken is cooked well, she'll cut easily. Okay? We've got that one cut.
This I can do.
And we get that little
Wing off.
wing off. We
Take
take
the
that tip off. I then usually cut those also, but you could even leave it as a whole piece if you like.
I guess what my favorite part is the wing.
The wings? Okay.
Yes.
You'll have wings.
Okay, so then we'll take off this
Right,
little...
we take this off
take
right
that
from
little-
there. Right.
all those little rib
And then
bones.
this one we can cut in 3 or 2, depending on the size of your chicken and the size of the pieces you want. Then what we do is we have our pan that we're going to cook this in, and we arrange these in the pan skin side down. 2 chickens cut up like this will easily serve 6 people. Easily.
Looks very good.
It is good. Now what we do is pour the marinade over all of the chicken. Let's get the garlic in there. Okay. Now what we do is we put this back under the broiler.
Okay.
And we let it cook for about 3 minutes like this. Then we turn them once. Let it cook for about another minute. And this is done. There is our lemon chicken. And what we just do now, Martha, is we plate it. We arrange it in the dish.
It smells really good.
It's good. It's fresh. The marinade is all fresh. And then what we do is we simply pour it over the chicken.
Serve that with Italian bread.
Oh, absolutely. And there, folks, is the famous RAO'S lemon chicken. We can just, if you'd like, garnish with a little fresh parsley.
And the pasta?
Voila, it's done. And then we have our other dish, our pasta. And I think we have 2 great dishes. It's a great way to start, and it's a great way to finish.
Fabulous. Let's go
We
serve
can
them.
bring these out. Right. Okay. We're off.
When fixing problems hit you,
Overpowering for this delicatation over here. We got a little extra.
I think you're right. Let me have that. Let me have that
Thank you,
thing.
sir. A little stogie.
Okay.
Definitely,
Bon appetit, bon
Thank
salute,
you,
good
Frankie.
help
Frank.
everybody.
Thank you, sweetheart.
Frank,
Good appetite.
Well, thank owner and bon vivant Frank Pellegrino for creating
Thank
this
you.
delicious meal for us.
Enjoy.
Thank you.
And he also
Everybody.
sings the best.
Oh, he does. On any night, you may hear opera, you may hear rock and roll,
Big band,
Sinatra,
all the good stuff.
There's a jukebox, and there's also live singing on call.
You have the best bartender in the world.
Oh, yeah, where is
Nicky
he?
Vest.
Nicky
Nicky
Vest.
Vest. Come here,
And here
Nicky
he
Vest.
is. Oh, today he's in his Mickey Mouse vest.
This is
Hi, Nicky.
the famous Nicky Vest. He's the best mixologist in the business.
You know the greatest thing about RAO'S is we come in here and Stephen, Shelley, Danny, and we make deals here. We invite investment bankers. For some reason, every time we invite them here for dinner, the deals always go through because they can't get in here. All they want is dinner at RAO'S. They have dinner.
So these guys laugh, and they eat, and they smoke, and they drink, and they have a really good time on Thursday night.
If you have problems in your head, you come into RAO'S, you see Nicky, see Frankie, and it becomes all your problems go away till you leave here. While you're in RAO'S, it's fabulous.
Frankie. So,
And
To our hostess, Martha. Salute. Absolutely. That means 101
molto
years.
grazie.
Good health to you, and thank you for being so loyal and good friends throughout the years, and good customers. And thank you again, Martha,
Thank you.
for exposing this.
All this week on Mark.